Like the face of a sunflower?
Where are the spirals?
You see this math everywhere.
Welcome back to the Gnostic Informant, and you are about to attain true gnosis. And what's going on, dude?
Hey, man.
We can at least talk for a minute or two before we start, right?
Greeking out again.
Yes, we are Greeking out again. What are you up to? Didn't you say you wanted to give some sort of rundown before we start?
Yeah, we can jump right into it. For anybody who missed the last lesson, we got started on Unit 4, but because we're taking our time and doing things correctly and not speed running through Hansen and Quinn, which is a very dense textbook, we picked a stopping point, and now we're picking up in the middle of Unit 4. So we're not going to read through the textbook anymore, and we're going to get into Exercise 4 after a brief introduction where I will attempt to not confuse everybody with a briefing that I have put together. So if you can throw it up on screen.
This right here? Oh, yeah. This is good.
Okay, so this is the table that I put together here. All right. So if this is going to be hard to see, but basically imagine this is like a bird's eye view, okay? And you have the different categories of the conditional clauses that we're going to be going over, which is basically if this, then that, right? So it's going to be the first categories could either be prospective or habitual, meaning it could happen in the future or it could happen on a regular basis. The Hansen and Quinn, this HQ column, gives you the categories of future more vivid, which is going to be subjunctive constructions. So basically, it's something that you think is likely to happen if a certain condition is met, versus the present general, which is also using the subjunctive. And the difference, the speaker perspective is live, directly entertained future possibility. If this happens, then this will happen, right? Whereas the habitual is just whenever something happens on a regular basis, then the result, right? So this is for repeated and general relationship in the present. Yeah. And the Greek examples are ean pempse, if he or she sends, paususin, they will stop, right? Whereas habitual is ean pempse, pausin, right? They are stopping.
Really? So just that one sigma changes the whole entire mood, or is it called a mood?
No, it's the aspect. So basically, yes, the sigma, in this case, this is a future sigma. In some instances, you'll see an aorist sigma, a sigmatic aorist, right? I have marked the sigmas in this document in red so that they pop out a little bit, okay? So this is the basic version. This is the version that is going to be more common in classical Greek than you'll find in the Hellenistic period, like in the Bible, with potential clauses that use the optative mood. in the protasis and the if section of the if then clause, and they also use the optative in the apodosis and the then clause that is going to be marked with on, which is this funny word that sometimes can actually be translated as ever. But in these clauses, they simply mark the apodosis, and we were talking about how it's kind of weird because in English we just don't have a word to translate it. But it's simply a marker that you're in this potential future less vivid condition. So this is a pempsean. If he were to send, but we doubt that he's going to send it. That's why we're using the optative mood. Pausayen on, right? Then they would stop, but they're not going to stop because we're using the optative mood. This is remote, imagined possibility, not in a fixed probability score. And sometimes we would say should in English for these kinds of conditions. For habitual, we're simply going to use the optative mood in the protasis and then the imperfect indicative in the apodosis. So here you can see a pempsean, right? If he were to send, and we doubt he's going to, epawon, then they would stop on a regular basis, habitually, right? It's like if we're doing war games every weekend, right? Lastly, we have the counterfactual statements that start with a, that use the imperfect indicative with a, mark the apodosis and on. Both of these mark the apodosis and
That's
on.
why this one's tricky, because they both have the same.
Yes. And so here in this one, you can see there's no red letter sigma, right? So this is a epempen. So if he were sending or she were sending, epawon on, they would stop, or I would stop. This ending is a little ambiguous. Versus if had, would have. So unreal completed, a epemsen. So if he had sent, right? That's kind of what you might say in English. Epausan on, they would stop, right? They would have stopped. They would have stopped in the past. This is a past counterfactual using the aorist aspect versus the present counterfactual using the imperfect. So everything clear?
Just kind of you have to just kind of memorize, because it's more than just it says aeon and there's an or on. It's more than that. You have to kind of memorize if there's a sigma in the verb.
Yeah, you have to pick up these patterns of what are you seeing in the apodosis? What are you seeing in the protasis? Do you see aeon in the apodosis? If that's the case, then it's going to be either future more vivid or present general.
It narrows it down to two things when you see aeon.
Yeah, if you see aeon, it can only be one. It can only be two of these.
So your guesses you're going to get like a 90% on your test just by knowing aeon, a, and a.
Yeah, aeon plus subjunctive means that it's either future more vivid or it's present general, versus a plus optative, which again is this very Attic, Atticizing style. That's either going to be future less vivid or past general, where you're sort of doubtful about whether or not something took place. And then the a plus imperfect is this present counterfactual, and then the a plus aorist, where basically imperfect on both sides, aorist on both sides, meaning protasis and apodosis. If, then. And whenever people hear me saying protasis and apodosis, I just mean the if side of the clause versus the then side of the clause.
Right.
Usually the protasis comes first.
Protasis is if, and then apodosis is then.
Yeah. So moving on from we'll continue to refer back to this chart and fact check it as we go along. So just so everybody's clear on English conditional syntax, because we have this in English. So we have a frame of reference, even though our language is not morphologically rich. We can say, as a matter of fact, he helps. We can ask a question, does he help? Right? You can't say, does he helps? Right? That sounds weird, right? Because you need to use the subjunctive, does he help? Help us is a command. Insist that he help. Sounds a little formal, but you wouldn't say I insist that he helps. You could say that, but it's technically not good English, right? He may help. That's a real possibility. We think he may help, but it sounds kind of doubtful. He might help. That's a bit more tentative and more remote than may. So may is like, we think he's likely to help. That's subjunctive. He might help. That's more like the optative. That's like, if we pay him $1 million, he might help. But most of the time, we don't expect that to happen, right? If he helped, he would finish. That's an imagined situation. If he had helped in the past, we would have finished, but that's counterfactual because that implies we didn't finish. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then we have the surviving English subjunctive, like in our manative subjunctive. I insist that he help. I insist that he helps is not good English, right? The form help does not assert that he actually helps. It's just a present demand. It's something you would like to happen. That's the way that the subjunctive is used in Greek. It's something that you wish would happen, and you tend to say hina in the beginning of it, right? Or na in modern Greek. So those are those examples. And just for a reference table, right? Open future is if plus the present, right? If he helps, we will finish. The present habitual is whenever he helps, we finish early. Remote future is if he were to help, we would finish. The past habitual is whenever he helped in the past, we used to finish early. And the unreal would be if he were helping, we would be finishing, but we're not. That's unreal, right? Or unreal past, if he had helped, we would have finished, but he didn't help, so we didn't finish.
Real before you keep going, go back up to the chart you had there real quick. What I really think is so crazy about this is you have 6 different aspects, but all 6 of them kind of are saying the same thing. They just have a little different. Like they're all saying, if this happens, then that happens.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much to learn just on like tiny details.
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
imagine if you were a foreign speaker of English and you were or imagine you were teaching ESL somewhere in China, right? And people just didn't speak a word of English, and you were trying to explain this to them. Like, why can't I say, I insist that he helps, and you're trying to explain to a foreigner like why sometimes the help gets an S and sometimes it gets like this is actually pretty sophisticated.
But it actually makes more sense when you hear a foreign person speaking English and they're not, and you can tell that they're not trained. It sounds weird. Even not even talking about the accent. I'm ignoring
grammar. You're talking about grammar.
Grammar comes off as like it doesn't come off right.
Yeah. And you and I intuitively understand this grammar, and it was kind of beat into us in school as well. And so we get it, but our language is losing the subjunctive. Like we just don't have as much going on. But this is fairly sophisticated in terms of as far as English goes. But Greek is way more sophisticated. Greek, because of the rhetoric of the classical period, Greek developed an extremely sophisticated conditional syntax that requires a whole chapter. And I'm just going to say it right now. The fact that Hansen and Quinn drops this on you in chapter 4, in my opinion, is like not good. Like I think this should be much, much later. I don't like the structure of this book. I think this is a little early, but let's go ahead and go with it. But my preferred textbooks introduce conditional syntax later.
There's still more nouns to do, right? Isn't there still more
They haven't. Yeah, we basically the textbook has not given you a whole lot of vocabulary yet. They've briefly run through grammar. There is a brief introduction to the optative mood in chapter 3, but it doesn't stick. It's like we're jumping into this a little cold. Now, before I get into the example sentences, and then we'll get into you doing the exercises, I want to jump over to these charts. So in the charts, this is what Neil and I usually use to sort of break out endings. And you can see in the indicative mood, the endings are o, ace, a, omen, ete, usi, right? With a movable nu. And then in the middle voice, it's o mai, e, etai, ometha, esthe, ontai, right? And for the prototypical Greek verb luo, to release or loosen or to loose, you know these already, right? Luo, lues, lue, luomen, luete, luusin, and then the middle passive. Now, when you get into the subjunctive, the way that you can tell the difference is all of a sudden, first of all, the omega doesn't change, but then in the U form, you get ace, right? Instead of ace here, you get this, right? So it becomes
it just takes the diphthong, puts it into like a long vowel.
Yeah, it becomes ace, right? And then here, if it's the aorist, you get a sigma as well. So the sigmas are in red to show that they kind of create this buffer between the root, the stem of the verb, and the endings that get tacked on. So o ace a, right? Luce, autos luce, right? And then lus omen with an omega, omen, as opposed to omen, right? That we had in the indicative mood. Ete, the epsilon lengthens to an eta. And then here also the u becomes o, right? And then we also have we have basically vowel lengthening happening in the subjunctive mood, because we're going to be using the subjunctive, and that's why we have to review it. With the optative, this is where classical Greek is a bit more advanced than Koine Greek, right? Because you have this I, me, in the first person, like lusai me, if I were to release, but I don't think I'm going to, right? Like that's what that implies. Luseas, you have a and then as. Luseien, lusaimen. So the optative endings have oi and I they have oi in the indicative mood and I in the aorist. And so this is what it's going to look like. We're not going to drill it. I'm just showing it to you because we'll probably refer back to it as we start looking at examples. And the first example I want to show you, and this is straight from the book, is ean angelon pempe or pempse, depending on whether it's just habitual or one time. Tain maken or machen paususin, right? So here you can see in red, the ps is just a p with a sigma attached to it, right? Yeah. That's why I'm marking it in red, because there is a sigma there.
Yeah, I know.
And then there's the sigma here, right? So if he sends a messenger, they will stop the battle. That's the example that they give in the book. Another example is ean thue, if he sacrifices, dora pempse, right? So he will send gifts. This is just the same thing with the different vocabulary, right? Mm-hmm. Ean o poietes biblion graphe or grapse, either one, right? If the poet writes a book habitually or one book, right? Tus neanias didaxe. So he will teach the young men, and then this is a future sigma, right? And then ean tein horan philatosin or philaxosin, right? Depending on whether or not he's doing it all the time or once. If they guard the country, ton polemon paususin, they will stop the war. So this is the first one we're going to deal with, and it's the prospective, future, more vivid, where on this side we have ean plus subjunctive, and then here we have the future, tein machen paususin, without on. There's no on in this apodosis. And this is the future more vivid, and if we look back at the table, we can see this is what it is, right? Ean, subjunctive, future indicative. It matches this exactly. This is exactly what we just saw. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. I already know I'm going to have. I'll just say this: I know. Go back to the chart again.
Yep.
I know that it's easy when you see aeon. You can single it down to two of those aspects, but it's hard to know. It's like I have to keep going back to this chart to check. It's not easy. This takes a long time to memorize this stuff.
Well, in the way you can tell the difference between future more vivid and present general, whether or not it's prospective or habitual, is that one of them. It's basically the protasis looks exactly the same. It's aeon plus subjunctive, right? This is aeon pempse is aeon pempse. They match. The difference is in the apodosis. So if the apodosis is future, it's future more vivid. If the apodosis is present tense, then it's present general. That's how you could tell the difference, by looking at the apodosis. You have to identify the apodosis, because the protasis is they look exactly the same. In the potential and the habitual, it's the exact same thing. The protasis is identical. So you really are honing in on the apodosis, the then. If this, then this. Then, the then clause is what's going to clue you in as to what kind of construction this is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and just so you can see what this is like in the wild, I'll skip through some of these other examples, just so you can see we do have this in the Koine period, right? In the Bible, 1 Corinthians 2:8, the wisdom which none of the rulers of this age has understood.
Is this rare in the New Testament?
It's not rare in the New Testament, but what's rare in the New Testament, let me go back up to the chart. What's rare in the New Testament is the future less vivid and the past general. You're not as likely in the New Testament period to get the optative mood. The optative mood is very rare in the Bible.
To them, they're as far back from we're as far away from Shakespeare as they almost are to that.
Yeah, basically
maybe not as 400 years, but 200, 300 years.
The optative mood, it dropped out. It had a bit of a re-emergence. There was a renaissance in the second sophistic and the third sophistic of Hellenistic period writers trying to sound like they were writing in Attic Greek, emulating Attic Greek.
What is it called?
The second sophistic and the third sophistic.
Sophistic, yeah.
Yeah, people like like Lucian, like people who wanted to elevate their style to the level of Attic Greek.
To show off how educated they were.
Yeah. So they started bringing back the you can find the optative mood in like Plutarch, right? Plutarch is technically Hellenistic Greek, but he's writing in a style that's like better Greek, quote unquote, than the Bible.
Koine literally means common. It's like,
yes, but there's different registers of the Koine. So there's like low level Koine and there's high literary level Koine.
Sure.
And the Bible sort of falls on a spectrum depending on who's writing. And so if you're looking at Paul has some sophisticated rhetorics, like he says, "Egar egnosan," right? If the wisdom which none of the rulers of this age had understood, for if they had understood it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah. So here you have the a clause with the egnosan, right? Had they? So it's counterfactual because they didn't understand. They didn't know that the demons that crucified Jesus. They didn't know that he was the Lord of glory. And had they known, right? Uk an ton kurion tes doxes estaurosan, right? They would not have, but they did.
Let me guess. Don't tell me what this is. You didn't tell me, right?
No, I didn't tell you.
All right. Let me think. You got the A, and then you got the on, and you also have a sigma, which would leave it. So okay, hold on a second. A on, and then the sigma. So this would be counterfactual.
Yeah, this is past counterfactual.
Okay. I'm getting there. All right.
So it's used. So you can immediately apply this to certain passages in the Bible. That's first. So that was 1 Corinthians 2:8, and then 1 Corinthians 15:13 through 14 is also interesting. But if there is no resurrection of the dead, then not even Christ has been raised. If Christ has not been raised, then our preaching is in vain. Your faith is also in vain. Now, this is really like Hellenistic style. It's not bad from the perspective of Attic Greek, but you could Atticize this a bit more. And so hypothetically,
adding an on.
Yeah, basically you would do a number of things. Like imagine that you're Lucian, or you're in the second sophistic, you're contemporary with the Bible, and you come across this work of Paul, and you see that like he's using like the present tense here and here, and like this just doesn't sound like good classical Greek. Let's just hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the uk in the protasis, and as we saw, the protasis should be negated with may. So if you wanted to classicize this, if you wanted to Atticize it, you would keep the a clause, but you would stick may, and you would swap out u with may, and you would swap out estin with ain, right? So a me ein necron anastasis. If there were no resurrection of the dead, counterfactual, but in reality there is resurrection of the dead. Udan, you would tag the apodosis with an. Christos ierthi, and you would use the aorist passive instead of egegerte or egegertai, sorry. You would use egerthe, and you would say, then Christ would not have been raised, or would not have even been raised, right? If there were no resurrection. So you could reframe this as a counterfactual if you wanted to elevate Paul's style to the level of classical Greek. Because right now, Paul is not using like a super formal language, right? He's not, and you would insert these ons, and
he's kind of a shit poster on Twitter.
Yeah, it's like he's not. Paul can flex his rhetoric when he wants to, He's not using a really prototypical classical construction here. This is more like street.
Plato would probably gag if he read that.
Not necessarily, but basically what he's saying is, if there's no resurrection of the dead, what he's doing is he's granting for the sake of argument that there is no resurrection of the dead. So he's not giving a counterfactual. Then not even Christ has been raised. So he's declaring that in the indicative mood, Ude Christos egirte. He's saying that Christ has not been raised, right? As like just on face value, he is contradicting the core premise of Christianity for the sake of argument. That's not really the way that classical authors would have written typically. They would have used a counterfactual conditional statement. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Other
simplified. That's what it is.
Yeah. Other examples of past counterfactual, right? So, for if in Tyre and Sidon had occurred the miracles that occurred among you long ago in sackcloth and ash, they would have repented, but they didn't repent because it's counterfactual, right? And so you can see the a here. You can see the eyenondo, the imperfect. You can see the on tagging the apodosis.
Oh, that's why they call it counterfactual. Okay.
It's counterfactual because they didn't repent as a matter of fact, but for the sake of argument, in this hypothetical conditional construction, we're framing it like this, with the a and the imperfect, and then the on and the aorist subjunctive, or the aorist. So and same thing. So Matthew 6:14, the prospective future more vivid. So ean gar afete, right? Tois anthropos ta paraptomata auton, right? So for if you forgive other people for their offenses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. That's straight out of the NASB. Aphese kai humen ho pater humon ho uranios. Afisike imin o patir imon uranios. So here you see the exact same construction. And lastly, Mark 16:18, since we all love this verse, this is concessive. Concessive con prospective condition. O fe sarusin, right? They will pick up serpents. Con thanasimonti piosin. And if they drink any deadly poison, it will not harm them. U me autus blapse. So on the one hand, you have the on, piosin, in the subjunctive mood, right? In the future. If they were to do it, they're not going to do it, but if they do it, it's not going to harm them, right? It's like, it's a hypothetical. So these are straight out of the Bible. Oh, and I guess John is a good one too. John 11:25. Opistewon eiseme, so who, the one who believes in me. Kan
John's got pretty good Greek, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good Greek. This isn't this isn't textbook classical Greek, but it's kan apothane zeisetai, or zeisetai, right? So the one who believes in me will still live even if he dies. Now here, what you have is a flip. You have the apodosis first, and then you have the protosis, right? Because it's if he dies, or even if he dies. Even is not in the Greek, but I'm sticking it in there in the translation because this concessive statement, the concessive condition is the speaker grants the condition, but says that it doesn't prevent or overturn the result. So even if X happens, Y still happens. So even if you die, you're gonna still live. Even if you die, right? And then even if I do judge, my judgment is still true. And then you have eon, krino, and these are very, very simple. So what you get in the classical examples is much more elaborate and grammatically sophisticated than you're going to find in the New Testament or most of the Hellenistic period. You're going to find this a lot in classical literature, and that's what Hansen and Quinn is. It's for classics. So future more vivid we covered. Present habitual, we're good. Ean angelon pempe. So if he ever or whenever he sends a messenger, ten machin pausin, they always stop the battle habitually, right? If whenever he sacrifices, he sends gifts. Ean thue dora pempe, right? Ean hopoetes biblion graphe, right? So whenever the poet writes a book, or if if he ever writes a book, he teaches the young men, tous neanias didaske, right? So you see on the front end, it's aeon, and it's the subjunctive mood, either habitual or a one-time occurrence. And then you have didaske in the present tense here. Boom, ending. Ean tein horan philatosin, if they ever guard the country or whenever they guard the country, they stop the war. Ton polemon pausin, right? Then future, less vivid. E angelon pempoi. So if he should send a messenger, but we don't think he's going to because we're using the subjunctive mood, pempoi, or pempseien if it's going to be one time. Tein machen pausaien on. So they would stop the battle if that happened, but that's probably not going to happen. And this is that typical classical construction that you rarely find after the classical period. Make sense?
Yeah.
So here we have, if he should sacrifice, a thuoi, subjunctive mood, they would send gifts. Dora pempsaien on, right? And here we have this untranslated on marking the apodosis because it's future, less vivid. We're using the subjunctive mood. We don't think is, I'm sorry, we're using the optative mood. Was I saying subjunctive this whole time? This is optative. And it means it's less likely to happen. It's less vivid. E hopoietes biblion graphoi. So if the poet should write a book, but he's probably not going to because he can't write, they would teach the young men tous neanias didaskaien an. And then e tein horan philatoien, if they should guard the country, which they probably won't, ton polemon pausaien an, they would stop the war. And then lastly, I think we have 3 more. Past habitual, past general, e angelon pempoi, if he sends a messenger, and remember that oi there is saying it's probably not going to happen, tein machin epawon, they would stop the battle. But he's probably not going to, so the battle's probably going to continue. It's counterfactual, right? It's past habitual. E thuoi, whenever he sacrificed, dora epempon, they used to send gifts. So they used to send gifts whenever he sacrificed, but this is again attenuating. It's limiting. It's optative. Whenever the poet wrote a book, e hopoietes biblion graphoi, whenever he did that, he used to teach the young men tous neanias didasken. That again is past general, past habitual, and you can see it's just all. It's because you're the way you identify it is you're looking at the apodosis and you're saying, is it imperfect in the apodosis? In the apodosis, then it's past general, right? If it's present counterfactual, it's going to be imperfect in the apodosis and in the protasis and the apodosis. And you see there is no red here. There's no sigmas here. If he should send a messenger, they would stop the battle. But if he were sacrificing, they would be sending gifts.
So it's either future, less vivid, or past general?
Well, future less vivid is where you're using the optative mood on both sides of the equation, and you're marking the apodosis with on.
Yeah, but you said past general. Okay, there's 2 past generals then.
There's future less vivid. There's past habitual or past general, and then there's present counterfactual.
Okay, and there's present general.
And then present general is present habitual, present general. Yeah, it's okay. General and habitual is the same thing. It's just if he sends a messenger, they always stop the battle. It's just the reason it's general is because the apodosis has the imperfect mood. The imperfect aspect. No sigmas, no eras, no future. Mm-hmm. And then finally we have. So we briefly covered present counterfactual. We'll refer back to this when we get stuck on something. Yeah. And then past counterfactual would be e angelon epemsen. So if he should send a messenger, tein machin epausan an, they would stop the battle if he should if he should send a messenger in the past, if they were doing it in the past. If he had sacrificed, they would have sent gifts, right? E ethusen dora epemsan an. So if they had, then they would. And then is like optional here. Then. E ho poetes biblion egrapsen, if the poet had written a book, tus neanias edidasken an. Edidaxen an, sorry. This is, you can see sigmas here, right? Red, sigma, sigma, sigma. Psa has a sigma, xa has a sigma. He would have taught the young men. And then ten horan efulaxan, if they had guarded the country, ten horan, ton polemon epausan an, they would have stopped the war. And then the last example here is actually really, really simple. It's just euthue, athue, if he is in fact sacrificing, dorapempe, then he's sending the gifts, right? If this is happening, then this is happening. There's no conditions. It's just like an open, a neutral example. E ho poetes biblion graphe, if the poet is in fact writing a book.
Options?
What's that?
Neutral is one of the options.
Neutral is like an appendix. It's not this one isn't really that complicated. I think they give it to you in the book.
In the exercises.
I think it does come up in the exercises as like little curveballs here and there. So we may encounter it. So now I see your cursors in there, and in exercise 4. What we're going to see is that all they want you to do is identify the protasis and the apodosis, which is pretty easy. Name the equivalent Greek conditional sentence. So identify what category it fits into.
We're not translating here.
We're not translating anything, right? And then give the formula for the protasis and the apodosis of the Greek conditional sentence.
Okay, so the protasis is if she wins.
Yep, if she wins.
And the apodosis is she will celebrate. That's it.
Yep. If she wins, then she will celebrate. Now, what kind of conditional what's the equivalent Greek conditional sentence for this example? If she wins,
you're more vivid.
Yes, future more vivid, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, what would be the formula for this?
Because it's aeon, it'd be
aeon. Yeah. Plus which mood?
Future indicative.
Subjunctive.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it would be subjunctive.
Okay, let me just take a look at that.
And then, but that's in the protasis. Now, in the apodosis, what are you going to get? You were right before.
Oh, future indicative.
Yeah. So it would be like this would be like ean nikese eortase. If she wins, she's going to celebrate. And just real quick,
so we can see. Do we have to write anything?
You don't. Well, let's blow through this pretty quickly. I don't think you need to write anything, but just
matters. Yeah, we can just answer.
But you can see that future more vivid. It's just aeon subjunctive plus future indicative. So that's what we were looking at. Yeah.
Okay. So the next one would be if he would win. If he should win is the protasis. Mm-hmm. He would celebrate is the apodosis.
Yep.
It's right. It's like super easy. And I think this would be if he should win.
Mm-hmm. If he should, right? So it's sticking that should in there.
A plus on.
So it would be A plus it wouldn't be, well, you wouldn't have an on in the protasis. So you would have A plus a certain mood.
No, I'm saying A plus the apodosis on.
Yeah, the apodosis would have on. That's correct.
That's what I'm saying. So
yes.
then that would be less future vivid.
Yes, it would be future less vivid.
Future less vivid. Yeah.
So you would have A plus which mood?
Optative.
Yeah. Optative. And then you would have the on the other side of the equation, you would have the optative. Oh, sorry.
Plus on.
Optative plus on. That's what it is. Okay. All right. If she wins.
Okay. That's obviously the protasis.
Mm-hmm.
And then she celebrates as the apodosis.
Yep. So this is kind of saying like if she wins every weekend when she plays golf, she celebrates. She has a beer, right? So what are you going to see? What do you think this feels like to you?
Also future indicative, right?
Well, it's not future because it's like she's doing it all the time. She's winning. She's celebrating.
Present.
Yeah.
So ions plus subjunctive.
So it's present general. And yes, you're going to say aeon plus subjunctive. Very good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say present general.
Yeah. And then what's on the other side? What's on the
Present indicative.
yeah, present indicative. Exactly. Okay. And then if he won.
If he won is the protasis,
Yep.
and then he celebrated is the apodosis.
Yep. And you can see we're using past tenses here in English, so we can kind of infer what it's going to be.
Yeah. So let me think here. If he won, that's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's just put that out there. It's in the past.
pass, but it still starts with A, right? A.
Yeah, it's gonna be A. Sorry, A.
No, okay. A. Plus. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna look at that chart real quick. You don't have to go. We don't have to wait. I can click on it right here, right?
You could go look at it. Yeah, we don't need to show it to the audience.
But aren't you showing my screen? Or
no, your screen is. I'm showing my screen. So if I showed my
So right now, just so they know, I'm looking at this. But they don't. You can go back to the just. I'm just letting you know.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun to.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to be like cheating or anything. I'm literally. I can't. If I need to look something up.
Yeah, and just so everybody's aware, like I would never blame anyone for looking at that at a table.
You can't memorize all this in 1 second.
Yeah,
it's possible. All right, so this is past. So past. So A plus past. Where is it? What is it called again? I'm a little bit confused on because it's not imperfect, right?
No, it's really just a you would say it's like past general.
So A plus optative right here.
Yeah, it would be this A plus optative, and then yeah,
I should have saw that. I don't know why I didn't see that. I was looking for that.
Yeah, and so
that's it. Okay, there we go. A plus optative, and then imperfect indicative. So it's past general.
Yes, exactly. Past general.
Yeah. Okay.
General, A plus optative, and then imperfect indicative.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So if he were winning, he would be celebrating.
If he were winning, he would be celebrating. That's imperfect, obviously. If he were winning, A plus perfect. Yeah.
So imperfect is going to be. Get that. Okay. So if he were winning, he would be celebrating. So this is going to be A, right? Plus imperfect. That's what you identified.
And then
he would be celebrating.
And then imperfect indicative.
Yep. Indicative plus
on.
On, right. So
present contrary.
Yeah. So this is exactly. It's the same thing. Yeah. Present counterfactual, or something you can say contrafactual.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it is.
Yours is like blocked off a little bit. That's cool.
Okay. So if she had won, she would have celebrated.
Obviously, we have to keep saying what the protasis is. Obviously, we know.
We know with the if and.
This is the protasis. This is the apodosis. I'll say it again. All right. So now, if she had won,
had is the big clue.
Past.
Yeah, past.
Past. Oh well, it's in the air. Isn't that the aorist though?
But yeah, but if you think about it, it's yes, it is going to be the aorist. So let's just label that. So it's A plus aorist.
And aorist indicative plus on.
Yeah, exactly. Aorist indicative plus on, which kind of
past contrafactual.
Yeah, contrafactual or counterfactual, right? It's just that because she didn't win. Exactly. If she had won, she would have celebrated, but she has no reason to celebrate because she lost. She's a loser.
Exactly.
He loses an hour's pay if he's late. That's a good one.
He loses an hour. So if he loses an hour's pay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the protasis?
It's
No, it's
not.
backwards.
It's backwards.
All right, okay, now I get why they're making you. Okay.
Yep.
If he is late, that's the
Mhm.
protasis.
Yeah. So you could rephrase this. You could say,
Yeah,
if
okay.
he is late,
I got you.
then he loses an hour's pay. And this is a weird, remember this occurred to me is like you're asking, well, why do they need the and there if it can't be translated? It's sort of like the word then. You can say if he's late, he loses an hour's pay, or you can say if he's late, then he loses an hour's pay. Then is an optional word in English.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But in Greek, on is not an optional word.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was a good way to phrase it.
So now let's so what kind of construction is this?
So if he is late, so that's subjunctive.
Yes, it is. And then would we have a or aeon?
Aeon.
Yeah, aeon. Aeon plus subjunctive.
Aeon plus subjunctive, and then the apodosis is he loses an hour's pay.
Yep.
Which should be present.
Present indicative.
Yes.
Indicative.
And that brings us to present general.
Present general. Perfect. Cool. General. All right. Now, if a letter was wrongly addressed, I returned it. Then I returned it, right?
If a letter was wrongly addressed, so that one's back in order again. If letter is wrongly addressed as the protasis, I returned it. Which the protasis is the if the letter was what is it called again? Let me just look at it again. Optative.
Yep. So it's A plus optative on one side.
Yep. And then the protasis, I returned it. Isn't that's imperfect?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So there's the imperfect indicative, and then this formula gives us which kind of construction?
I'm just going to take a look at it real quick. It gives us the past general.
Yep, past general. Boom.
Cool.
Now, you will be sorry if you do that.
You will be sorry is the apodosis.
Exactly. It's a reverse construction.
Yep. And then if you do that is the protasis. Okay.
Yep.
So let's start with the protasis then, obviously, right?
Yep. If you do that,
you will be sorry.
We'll start with the protasis. If you do that.
Oh, okay. If you do that, would be if aeon. If you do that.
And careful not to say aeon. Sorry, not say aeon. It's aeon. Yeah.
Subjunctive.
Yep. Subjunctive.
And then
you will be sorry.
You will be sorry. Future, obviously.
Yeah. Future indicative. So it's an indicative statement.
And
so
that's more vivid future.
Yep. That is future, more vivid. So you can see that the word vivid there is really just describing the potentiality of something, right? It's like the truth value of it. It's more certain. It's more vivid. If you were having fun, you would not be so anxious to leave.
Protasis is you were having fun. Apodosis is you would not be anxious to leave.
Yep. And clearly this person is not having fun, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if you were having fun, you wouldn't be so anxious to leave implies that you're anxious to leave and you're not having fun.
Yeah. What is this? Is this if you were?
Yeah.
So that's past. You were.
This is the tricky thing. And let me. I think I should probably reintroduce. How do I get the index? So for this kind of counterfactual, present counterfactual, I'm just going to give it away because you can see that both of these are imperfect on either side of the protasis and the apodosis. it's and the imperfect is a past tense. So it's like you get past tense on either side of the formula. So it's a plus imperfect and then imperfect with on. If, were, would. It's unreal.
So it sounds like the past, but it's imperfect.
It's phrased like the past with the imperfect, but it's actually
a tricky one.
Yeah, it is a tricky one. But in reality, it is a present counterfactual, even though it is. It's
Go back to the chart again. I'm sorry. Which one is it?
It is this. This right here. Present counterfactual.
If were, I see it now. If
were.
When you see if were, it's present counterfactual.
Yeah, and if you see it in Greek, what you're going to notice is the protasis is going to have the imperfect, the apodosis is going to have an imperfect with an on, and typically when you see imperfect, you think past tense, but this is present counterfactual, and I am unfortunately this is not simple. This is little.
No, but let me just ask you this: a way to know this would be, well, we're still doing this English to Greek, so
yeah.
Well, maybe we can just hold off on.
Let's just park it there, but just remember that when you see imperfect on both sides of the equation, and then you see an on in that apodosis, you're dealing with the present counterfactual. It's if you were having fun, and if you think about it, you were having fun in English is past tense, right? So it's sort of like we're talking about the present, but we're using a form that normally would be used for the past tense, but here it's not past, and this is a little bit This is not intuitive. This is counterintuitive. So it's a plus imperfect, indicative on the protasis side, and the apodosis side is imperfect.
Perfect on.
Yeah, imperfect indicative plus on, and we'll just leave it at that. It's a little.
That was hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little hard.
All right, so now we have. I would have gotten a bonus.
Yep.
If I had finished it. Okay, so if I had finished on time is the protasis here.
Exactly. Reverse construction.
And then apodosis is I would have gotten a bonus.
Yep.
So let's start with the protasis. If I had finished on time, is the aorist.
Yep. So it's a plus aorist indicative.
And then the apodosis is aorist indicative plus on.
Yes. Exactly. Plus on.
Which is past counterfactual.
Exactly. Past counterfactual.
One more.
All right.
One more for this section. I don't like these. I want to.
They're a little uncomfortable.
They're weird. They're like but this kind of gives you the context of what we're actually trying to get across when we say these things.
Yeah, and you can see why studying foreign languages delays the onset of dementia, because it gives you these brain exercises. Yeah, it's a documented fact.
Every week. All right. Okay. If it should snow tomorrow, what would you do? So this is back to normal. If I should snow tomorrow is protasis. What would you do? This is back to the optative again.
Yeah, and imagine we're saying this in the beginning of August, so it's probably not going to snow tomorrow. So
yeah, so a plus optative.
Yep, plus optative.
And then optative also plus on.
Yep, plus on.
And that's optative plus optative is.
If we were in Colorado in December, it would be totally different, but you're in Florida, I'm in California.
Less vivid.
Yeah, future less vivid. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to snow.
Yep.
All right. So now we have to identify conditional sentences and translate. So this is a bit more fun. Why don't you go ahead and read this?
Okay. So ean tois theois stuses ora pimpsosin.
Pempsosin, right. So start with the protasis.
Wait, so we're translating it to English.
Well, give us the classification first.
Okay. I can just write if down, right? If obviously.
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, you can translate first if you want, but the assignment is a classification and translation.
Okay.
It'll help you if you classify it first.
First, we got to, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. So we have Aeon plus, and then we're looking at the verb, right? We're looking at thuses.
Yeah, I mean, you could just sort of spit out the words as you see them, and then we can sort of piece them together if you want to do it like that.
What is thuses again? Thuses is
Thuo is to sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice. Okay. So
Theo.
that's a subjunctive form.
It is the subjunctive mood with an air. So let's just go ahead and give it the treatment. Yeah. So I'm going to mark the ending in blue, and I'm going to give you this sigma in red.
Okay. So that actually labels it down. Let's do the second verb first, right? Should we do the hypothesis now? Oh, you're doing it for me.
Oh, I'm color coding the Greek to identify the elements. But if you want to bang out a translation, go ahead.
Well, I just want to make sure I get the. I don't even know what the conditional is yet. Hold on a second. So we have thuses, which is aorist, and then we have pimsusin, which is future. It's got a sigma.
Pemsusin.
Yeah. Pimsusin. So that's future, and it's indicative.
Yeah,
right?
because when you see aeon, it's going to be either future more vivid or present general. It can only be one of the two if you see aeon in the protasis.
So it's future more vivid.
Yeah, future more vivid.
Okay. So that means future more vivid is if he sacrifices to the god.
No. You get a sigma here. What's that sigma telling you?
What do you mean?
Here, let me cheat real quick.
The future, right?
So I'm gonna go. Yeah, but when you look at the let's look at luo. You see this?
Oh, if you sacrifice.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Sorry.
I'm just thinking he. Cause usually it's always he something when we do these translations. All right. If you sacrifice to the gods, which is plural, theos. If you sacrifice to the gods,
yes,
they will send the gifts.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making everybody dizzy with them. Just trying to get it a good size. Okay, good.
Should I write that down?
Yes. If you
will.
No, just you could say will, but it's not necessary. In English, you could just say if you sacrifice to the gods.
If you sacrifice to the gods.
Mm-hmm.
They send gifts, or they will send gifts.
They will send gifts, or they shall send gifts. Right? Pemsusin.
Okay.
And just so everybody's aware, this is just ps together in a ps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the root is pemp.
Right.
So a.
I got it. A. What's that noise?
Oh, sorry, it's my Amber Alert on my phone.
Oh yeah, that happens over my phone all the time. Okay. So the next one is a tois theois tu saite ora pimsayin on.
Yeah, Dora. And so here I'm going to continue giving you these red sigmas and red psas, right? Just so we could start seeing the pattern here. I'm going to mark this green.
Dative. We got a dative 2. Almost doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what the noun is.
The noun?
We're not even thinking about dative or. You know what I mean? Because it's like the last thing you have to worry about when you're doing these.
Well, yeah, you're kind of beyond that, so you're pretty good with the dative at this point.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's just weird how we're not even thinking about.
But can you identify the mood that you're seeing in these verbs?
The which one? Thusaite?
Thusaite and pemsayen.
That is the optative.
It is the optative mood.
Yeah. Optative, and it's aorist. So that means optative. So we have
aorist aspect.
So that means we have a plus optative. Should I write that down? Or do you want to just,
No, just call it. You don't need to write it down.
just translate it?
A plus optative, and then that's on the protasis side, and the apodosis is the apodosis.
Plus on?
Yeah, optative plus on, which condition?
Less vivid.
Yeah, future less vivid.
Future less vivid. Yeah.
Now you can translate it because you've identified it.
So if, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
if, and it's once again, it's you.
Yep.
Or plural, though.
Well, it's you plural, or it's like y'all. Yeah.
If
Give it-
y'all sacrifice,
Give you a little apostrophe there.
if y'all sacrifice to the gods,
Yeah.
they will send gifts? No.
You know, I might do it. You could say they would send gifts. You could say they might send gifts if you sacrifice to them, or they'll just strike you down with lightning bolts. It's sort of, it's the optative. Yeah, they would send gifts.
But why is that? This is what I got confused about last week. Why is it really that big of a difference to say will or would?
Because will is like, I would say will for the indicative mood, and I would say would for the optative mood or the subjunctive mood. When you're attenuating the truth value of the statement.
Okay, they would have done it if you.
Yeah, it's like, basically what you're saying here is that the gods are not going to send gifts, right? Or whoever they would. They is not really identified here, but I think it's implied that it's theoi, right? So they would send gifts if you sacrificed, but you're not sacrificing. So like you're giving the condition that needs to be met in order for that statement to become true. But for now, it's not true, and that's why you're framing everything in the subjunctive mood. I'm sorry, the optative mood.
It's just so crazy. Go to that chart again to show them, because if I go, they can't see if I do it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
To this.
There's 6 of these aspects, as they're called, aspects, and the differences are so slight.
Well, subjunctive and optative are moods.
Should or could, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the aspects are the future indicative is an aspect, the present indicative is an aspect, the imperfect is an aspect, and the aorist is an aspect. Right. Those are the four. There's four aspects.
Let me rephrase that. There's a big difference between, for example, future more vivid and past contrafactual. There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
But once you squeeze, like, future more vivid and present general are not, like, you can almost, sometimes you can't even tell the difference.
Well, and there's a reason why this dropped out of the language, because it just was a little too much. Like it's like the language, what happened with Greek over time all the way into the modern period, when you get to modern Greek, is a simplification process of just sort of like shedding the former formality that classical Greek embodied and just making the language just a bit more efficient. It's like the difference between, like when people ask me the difference between ancient Greek and modern Greek, I usually say ancient Greek is like the stick shift and modern Greek is like the automatic. And so we started with a super clunky stick that you had to use the clutch to shift between all these different, optative mood. And then as Greek progressed, it just got more and more efficient and simple, but less sophisticated, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Less complex. Okay, let's do number 3.
Right.
It is a tois theois du saite dora epimpon. Right?
Yep.
All right, so a tois theois du saite. So that would be thusaite. Thusaite is the second person. It is.
And you're this is a repeat from the one we just did, right? So don't overthink it. You could just copy and paste.
Well, no, is it?
We had up here a tois theois thusaite.
The whole sentence. I'm like, okay, yeah. So if y'all sacrifice, we can even put that in there, right?
Yeah, if y'all sacrifice to the gods.
Yeah.
It's still tois theois. It's the whole phrase.
Yeah. And we have a whole different setup down here, though.
Yep.
But it's still gifts. But there's no on. So
yeah. You picked up the pattern. You can see it. I can tell you can see it. You just have to figure out which slot it goes into.
Yep. So the mood is indicative. Right? For the verb?
The mood, yeah, the mood of the apodosis is the indicative mood. That's right.
So we have a, we don't have on. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna take a look at it. I gotta take a look at it. I have a, but we don't have on. So that would be past general right here.
Yeah, past general. Exactly.
Cool. There we
So
go.
so now you got to figure out, okay, now that you've seen the apodosis, you know the apodosis doesn't have an on in it. You know that it's the imperfect. You're going to judge based on the apodosis how to translate this. And so that's why the textbook says very clearly, until you've identified the category, you can't translate this.
Right. But now we know it's past general,
Yep.
so it's
now you can start to mold the translation around the conditional syntax.
so it has to be in the past though. So
Yeah. So yep.
they were sending gifts.
Yeah.
They did send gifts.
Or
they used to send gifts.
They used to send gifts. Yeah.
They used to send gifts, right?
Yep. And so really it would be if y'all, what you would do here is you would stick ever. If y'all ever sacrificed.
As a good translator would do that.
Yeah.
Rather than being so technical about it, you would go, no, I want to make this readable for my English people. You throw the word ever in there. Yeah,
you would sort of adapt it into English, even though those words aren't really there.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And really the thing that you could do is you could either say
gifts. They sent.
Well, you could do this too. Instead of saying if y'all ever, you could also say whenever. Whenever y'all sacrifice to the gods, they used to send gifts. Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah.
But that's not what the textbook tells you to do. The textbook says to say if you ever sacrificed to the gods. This is the way Hansen and Quinn says it. But really, this is the same as whenever.
Yeah.
It's just you want 3 words in English, or do you want 1 word in English?
Okay.
Now let's get these sigmas.
Future.
Get our endings.
I already know it's future before we even got there. Well, maybe not. Actually.
Maybe not. Yeah, the sigma could indicate a future, or it could indicate an aorist. And this is really the key here, is this iota subscript in the eta.
It can be present though too, right?
No, if you see it, well, yeah, it could be just the general, sigma. The sigma could be aorist or it could be future.
Okay, so first read it. Aeon, tois, theois, douces.
Yep.
Dora, Pempusin.
Pempusin. Yeah.
Pempusin. Yeah.
Pempusin. Yeah.
For first, let's start with the protasis, which is the douces, which is
aeon.
It's a singular. What's
I?
Second person. I'm sorry. Is it second person?
It's second person because it's sigma.
Second person singular. Second person singular. Aorist.
Yep. Aorist. And then what mood is it?
That is subjunctive.
Subjunctive, because you have the eta with the epsilon augment rather than a. Sorry, it's not a. It's a.
Yep. Subjunctive. Okay, so then we have Dora Pempusin, which is
Pempusin.
That is third person. Present, right?
It is present tense. Is it singular or plural?
Plural.
Plural. There you go.
So that's plural. Okay, and then that's indicative mood.
It is the indicative. Yeah.
Oh, super chat.
At Lux in Tenebris 8 dropped $2 super chat. Beware the hypotenuse hippopotamus.
Beware the hippopotamus.
Good one.
That's a good one. Nice. Thank you for that, man. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, so we got the indicative mood and the subjunctive mood. So aeon plus indicative. Oh, I'm sorry, aeon with the subjunctive,
Yep. And with the subjunctive, which doesn't tell you much because you got to look at the apodosis.
and then which would be indicative with the present.
Yep.
So that's present general.
Present general.
Yeah, that was
There
easy.
you go. Yep.
I like that one. I like this present general. It's easy to see it.
Yep. And it's just like you can start it out with whenever, just like we did before.
Lux in
Whenever
Tenebris
you
8 dropped
sacrifice to the
$2
gods.
super chat.
Yep. Exactly.
Hypotenuse hippopotamus.
Oh, that came in late, didn't it? That
did.
came in late. I'll pop it back up for a second. Thank you for that.
So yeah, start with whenever. Start with whenever.
Why is my typing? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. If you ever or whenever you
sacrifice to, is it gods plural? Yep, to the gods. Whenever you pass it to the gods, they send the gifts.
Yep, they send, well, it's not the gifts.
They send gifts.
Yeah, they send gifts. Yep. And then you can see that like the difference here was like we used the optative and we had the imperfect, and now we have the subjunctive plus the present indicative. So that gives us all the ingredients we need for the present general. And it's habitual.
Okay. E tois theois ethusate dora epamsan an.
Yep. And so I'm going to start marking these sigmas. I got a sigma here. I got a pussa. Got a sigma here. So those give us some clues.
Podcast has become initiated. Theta epsilon sigma alpha
Ooh.
theta iota nu delta sigma kappa alpha lambda omicron epsilon lambda lambda eta nu iota kappa nu
Is that modern Greek?
lambda alpha.
It is modern Greek.
Derek, what are you doing with this modern crap?
Thessalithino daskalo elinikon elado. So if you want a real Greek teacher, come here. And I do teach Greek classes. For
He went on
anybody who's interested.
Google. He went on Google and said, "Give me this." And you got modern Greek. That's so funny.
Yeah, Thes is short in modern Greek is Ethelis. In
That is
ancient
so
Greek.
funny, dude. I would make my whole day. By the way, House of Dragons on tonight, Derek. You know, you're
Yeah.
gonna watch that. I can't wait. There's only 2 episodes left, dude. Oh, you went to ChatGPT. You could have got the ancient.
Yeah. So basically, if you ask ChatGPT how to say something in Greek, it's going to give it to you in modern Greek. But if you ask it how to say something in ancient Greek, it usually will do a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
So, Atois, so go ahead and knock this out. I think you can see the you can see the on, you can see the A, you can see the
A plus
sigmas.
Well, hold on. So we got A plus ons off the bat. I'm not even gonna, before I even read it. When I see A plus on, it's only there's only 2 things. It's 3 things it could be.
Yeah, it's 3 things it could be exactly.
It could be either future less vivid, present contrafactual, or past contrafactual.
Yeah, but the key here is that you see this red on both sides of the equation. There's aorist, like you get if aorist, then aorist.
So that means it's counterfactual.
Yeah, and it's
Wait a minute. There's ways you can tell what it is before you even translate anything.
yeah.
So this is I don't even have to. I'm already like halfway there just by seeing this.
Yeah, because and just so everybody can appreciate this, like how easy this particular one is, you can see the only thing on the chart that has aorist on both sides is this bottom counterfactual, the past counterfactual, aorist.
Yeah, and
That's
then
the
because show them how I singled out those 3. Just tell them that real quick. By the way, thank you, Neo, for the 20. I really appreciate you. You're
what
the man.
3?
Just explain to them why I said there's only 3 left. Maybe they're wondering, how did Neil know that?
Because you see A and on.
A and on.
So you were kind of narrowing it down by deduction. So is it future less vivid? Is it the present counterfactual, or is it the
3? And then you said, but look, Neil, there's an aorist in there.
Yep.
There's only one aorist. Boom. I was able to figure it out just by looking at a couple of details in the sentence.
Yes, exactly. And this is
the problem with this type of methodology is we're not learning how to read. We're learning how to technically translate shit.
You're learning how to decode. This is
Which
the
is
grammar
fun.
translate
Which is
method.
great, but it's not. If you want to be a reader, this is not what you want to do.
Yep. Amen.
Now I know what Luke mean. Now I know why Luke told me when he told me. When I
Yep.
was like, I'm going with the Hansen and Quinn. He was like,
Hansen and Quinn is a little painful. It's a little. It's yeah.
I was like, why? I'm like, he's like, you need to go to. And he said, what is it called? Athena's Day.
He probably said Athena's Day.
Yeah, Athena's. Yeah.
But yeah, I call it Athena's Day.
Yep. Anyway,
It means to Athens. That's what it means.
Yeah.
On the way to Athens.
So now that we have it done, now that we know it's past counterfactual,
yep,
we can pretty much translate it now. We can just go to if you had sacrificed to the gods, right?
Yep. If you had sacrificed to the gods,
and then they would send gifts.
They would have sent gifts.
They would have sent.
Yeah. So basically, y'all didn't send any sacrifices to the gods. So
they would have sent the gifts.
Yeah, they would have, but you didn't send any. You didn't make any sacrifices, so you're screwed.
Past contrary. Yeah.
Yep.
It's past.
So
it's contrary to the fact, but it's in the past.
Yep.
Got
exactly. It. So now we're looking at no sigmas here, right? No sigmas.
You also have a plus on again.
And you have a plus
now,
on.
So now we know it's down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either present counterfactual or future less vivid. Is there a way to tell right off the bat between those two?
The way you can tell right off the bat is that you have imperfects on both sides. So the last time here we have aorist on both sides.
Present counterfactual.
Present counterfactual, exactly.
I'm getting good at this, dude.
Yeah, so here we have aorist on both sides of the equation. Here we have imperfect on both sides of the equation.
It's not that hard, actually. But you kind of have to have a chart to help you, though. That's the only thing. Until
it becomes second nature.
Until you start, yeah. But as long as you know the system, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So that means past contrary to fact, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep. So it's
that's contrary factual.
I'm sorry, present counterfactual. Right. So we just did past counterfactual that had 2 aorists, and now we're doing present counterfactual that has 2 imperfects.
That's what I meant. Present counterfactual. So, did I even read this one yet? I didn't even read this one yet. E tois theois ethuite dora epempon on.
Yep.
So since if present counterfactual, if you were sacrificing.
Yep. If you were sacrificing. This is the trippy thing is it's like if you were sacrificing now, but you're using the imperfect, which is usually a form that represents the past.
Yeah.
So the tenses in Greek are fun. They're not.
Yeah, it's because it still has that epsilon there.
Yeah, it has an epsilon augment. So you'd be like, oh, it's okay. You were. And here's the thing: if you didn't have the a, like if you just like, let's just pretend it was that. What would that be?
You were sacrificing.
You
were sacrificing to the gods.
Yeah, you were sacrificing to the gods.
Yeah.
In the past tense, indicative mood. But here you get this whole like if, so that now you're like if you were sacrificing, and now it's become the present.
It becomes the present. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were sacrificing to the gods, and then it's the same. It's the same again, right? They would be sending gifts.
Yep.
Gifts.
Now, I have to mention that epempon could be I was sending, but in this context, it rules it out. So like in this context, the gods, yeah.
We already have a subject.
But the ending of that verb doesn't really tell, the ending and the epsilon augment, it could, it's ambiguous. It could be I was sending or it could be they were sending.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just thought you just keep going with it, whatever the subject is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're inferring it, but you know, it's the ending. It's the verb form itself doesn't tell you. The context tells you.
I see. We're down here, right? 7.
Yeah.
Why do you have 2 bullet holes there?
I just wanted to move it down so it was
Oh,
on its own page for visual presentation. So we have fulato, which
Hold on,
means
I gotta read it first.
yeah.
Ean tus adolphus me fulato lususi ten demokratia.
The Demokratian.
Demokratian.
Yep.
Did I say that?
You said Demokratia with I didn't hear an N at the end.
Oh, I just didn't say that. I just said
You didn't enunciate.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
Okay, so that would be let me think. So why'd you have this right here? What are you doing with this?
So what I'm doing with this is showing you that there's no sigma there.
Okay. So we
Just,
have
just a little visual clue. Maybe I'm giving away too much, but there's no sigma.
so it's not, but it's also not past either.
It's not past.
So present,
So what does fulato mean?
it is guard.
Yes, like prophylactic, right?
Yeah, guard. So it's I guard, or wait, may means not, if not, right?
Yeah, it means not.
So if I don't guard Aldofus, my brothers. Tus Aldofus, which is tus the brother. Yeah, accusative brothers, plural.
Yes.
Right.
Tus adelphus.
So if I don't guard the brothers, right?
Yep.
But I still have to figure out what mood. I'm ahead of myself right now, right? I still have to figure out what this is.
Yep.
Aeon plus and this. Okay, so I'm looking for the mood of this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that subjunctive?
It is not. Why? So what would clue you? What would give you a clue that it was subjunctive? Because this is like super typical. This is like your default. Like this is level 1 stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Fulato is just your very, very basic indicative, active, present tense. It's I am guarding, right?
Yeah. But wait a minute.
But it's negated with the may.
So what does that mean? What do you mean?
Well, this is not.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But what
Yeah.
does that mean? What is that? How does that not indicative? Is it indicative?
It is indicative, yeah.
Okay.
So like I mean, just do give me that. What would that say?
It would say, I guard the brothers.
Yeah, I guard the brothers. So
And then
now you just have these additional elements.
So if I don't guard the brothers,
Yeah, if I don't guard the brothers,
they will destroy democracy.
yeah, they will dissolve or disband or they'll basically destroy the democracy. They'll loosen it. They'll loose the democracy.
They will
dissolve. I don't know. I think you would say dissolve.
Right?
Yeah, destroy.
Yeah, democracy.
But in this case, I think there's a sense of like to loosen something, like it's firm. It's like shored up and firm, and then
I've seen this used for destroy a lot of texts.
It does. Yeah, it does sometimes say that. It does mean that. Destroy, but it's not. Well, since it's an abstract
or free the democracy.
Yeah, but that does not fit in English. Okay. But it is the democracy. I guess as an abstract context, you could say like just democracy in general. But I think
you have to capitalize it, right? You'd have to capitalize it.
No, not necessarily. It's not a proper noun.
Okay.
So what type of construction is that? Where you have the indicative in the protasis.
More vivid.
Yeah, more vivid.
So I'm just trying to look. I'm just looking at the chart one more time.
Yeah.
Vivid. I see. Okay, Aeon plus, and then nothing else.
Yeah, it's a future more vivid, but here they have the present tense in the protasis. So it's a little atypical. It's not fitting our pattern very cleanly.
Huh. Okay.
If you wanted to fit the pattern more cleanly, what would filato become in the subjunctive mood? Trick question. So because you need to get a sigma in there, right? So what happens when you tack a sigma onto this double T?
You have to get rid of the T, right?
And what is it? So okay, so when you get rid of it, what does it become? Is it filaso?
Fulaxo.
Yeah, exactly. So the
You
S.
want to know something crazy? I don't even know why that's the case. I just heard it so many times.
Yeah, it's just because the TT.
I just knew the answer from straight up hearing that so many times.
Yeah, the TT is the attic form. The SS is the ionic form that becomes standard in the Koine, and with both of these, you get they turn into x when you add a sigma to them.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, they explain that in one of the books I had. That's on the Smith book. What is it called? Smith? The black book?
Yeah, the Smith's grammar. And the reason is that this is actually a manifestation of a root that is fulag. It's actually a velar g. And so the velar g becomes fulato in Attic dialect and fulaso in Ionic. But the core of it under the hood is fulag. And then that g plus sigma is what's giving you x.
Got it.
Which is, it's x is basically either ks or gs or a chi s as well. Like they all become x.
It's just funny how these words all morph into each other.
Yeah, that's why it's called morphology. Morphologia.
Yeah. They use that word too, like Aristotle or like the grammarians, they actually use that word, morphology.
The grammarians tended to, like Dionysios Thrax and the Hellenistic grammarians are the ones that really took after the Stoics. I think the Stoics were the first ones to start codifying the grammar, but really you get Thrax and who's the other big Hellenistic grammarian?
There's a bunch of them. I'm not sure which one you mean.
Well, there aren't that many, but they're in the Hellenistic period.
And the Hellenistic period. You're right. They're most of our business.
The Hellenistic grammarians are the ones that really really set the grammar for the grammatical terminology we use today. For the most part, was codified in the Hellenistic period.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Just turn my camera back on. So, all right, what are we on now? Let's do this.
So, A tus adelphus, you want to do?
Yeah, A tus adelphus effulaton uk an eluan ten demokratian.
Demokratian, right?
Demokratian. That was funny. That's funny how Derek dropped in a modern Greek phrase.
Yeah, well, I speak modern Greek, so that helps.
True. That's true. Yeah.
That's what Apollonios Díscolos and Dionysios Thrax. Those were the two big Hellenistic grammarians who just wrote a ton on codifying grammatical terminology. Dionysios Thrax, Dionysius Thrax, and Apollonios Díscolos, the Apollonius Díscolos.
Yeah.
Those were the two that were associated with the Alexandrian library.
Straight up ancient nerds, dude.
Super, ancient nerds, exactly.
Probably were the type of people that were freaking out about scrolls and shit. Don't touch the scrolls.
So, A tus adelphus.
Should I try translating off the bat?
Yeah.
We got A plus on. Right? A plus on. Right?
Yeah, you got these you got A plus on, and you have no sigmas, and you have epsilon augments. So without even translating it, you just start picking up all these clues.
A plus on, no sigmas. It's present counterfactual?
Present counterfactual.
Bam.
Yep.
I like when they're easy like this.
Yeah.
So Etus elefus. If I were guarding my brothers, right? Is that right?
If I were guarding my brothers.
The brothers.
Well, no, it would actually be my brothers
Okay.
in this context.
If I were guarding my brothers, ook.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it. Yeah, I don't know. Go with the brothers. It's ambiguous.
because it is
It could be it could be referring to my
usually
brothers.
so it's pointing to the brothers. All right. Let's see. If I would not be, and we're going to use the word eluan as destroy again, right?
Yes.
But what about I won't be?
It would not be.
Would not destroy.
Well, I would not be dissolving the democracy
Not
or destroying the
Democracy.
The democracy. Well, it is Arthros, right? So it has a definite article. And this is tricky because this could be I would not be destroying, but it also could be they would not be destroying. And since the whole context is revolving around these brothers that you were guarding, you would think that the brothers would be the antecedent of Eluon. And so here I think you would say they would not be, because you're like the brothers have the power to destroy the democracy if you're not guarding them.
Oh.
So it doesn't really make sense for you to say, if I were guarding the brothers, then I wouldn't be destroying democracy. Kind of, you know, it's tough because also e tous adelphus effulaton could be if they were not guarding their brothers. That's also a possibility. Like, this sentence is ambiguous. We don't have enough context to translate this like really confidently.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So, and this is and so this is funny. Like, you have to be comfortable in Greek or in any foreign language working around certain ambiguities. And if you get a little piece of a text that doesn't have enough context around it, you have to be open to like several different possibilities. And with the imperfect aspect in the first person, like I was doing something or they were doing something, they look exactly the same, and it sucks. What can I say?
All right, let's do the next one.
Yep. So we got Usi.
Lususi ten domakritian.
You stuck a sigma in there. There actually isn't a sigma.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lucy.
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 I mean, I pronounce that word as Liusi, so I have like different. But for you, it would be Lucy, and you would have one of them would be fronted U, and the other one would be the back of your mouth U. But it's hard to pronounce. It's hard for you to pronounce. It's easy for me to pronounce.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Lucy ten domakritian, ean tous adolphus me fulato.
Yeah.
So we can look at it. This one doesn't have aeon anywhere on the front.
The
next part.
It doesn't. So what does that mean?
I don't know. We haven't seen this yet.
Well, we did it. We did it we saw this in the first exercise when we were just dealing with English.
Oh, they're moving the apodosis to the front.
They're moving the apodosis to the front. Exactly.
Apodosis to the front.
No. Normally
apodosis in the back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that means we can kind of start over here, right?
Yeah. You kind of have to start over there.
So if the brothers don't guard, no, I'm sorry. If I don't guard, sorry, this is the accusative. If I don't guard the brothers, they won't destroy democracy.
Yeah, this is
But I haven't figured. I haven't even given the what is it called again? Aspect yet.
Yeah, you haven't.
You always have to do that though.
Well, the aspect is.
Did I just translate that correctly?
The aspect is present, so both of these are present. But what you need to do is identify the correct mood of the protasis.
Okay, indicative. I'm sorry, subjunctive. The protasis is subjunctive.
Yes, and how do you tell the difference between the subjunctive and the indicative?
because the
It's a trick question.
I don't know how to.
It's a trick question. You can't.
Okay.
So in the first person, the omega could either be indicative mood or subjunctive mood, like I am guarding or I would guard, and we don't know. Like we know what it is because it's in this conditional syntax. But generally, when you just see that by itself, you can't tell what mood it is.
Right. You kind of need to know if it's got the aeon, right?
Yeah, the aeon is what's telling you.
Yeah.
It's screaming like, "Hey, this is a subjunctive you're about to see."
Yeah. Gotcha. I was just gonna. Yeah. Okay. I was when you said trick question, and I was like, "What do you mean?" That wasn't a trick question. I could have answered that.
Well, it's a trick. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. That's fine. So I can so that's what. So I have to tell you. Okay, it's future more vivid, right?
Yeah, and you could translate the protasis first if you want. If you want to just like stick to that structure.
Yeah. Let's do that. If I.
But it's not future more vivid. It's
It's not.
no
What is it?
present general.
I'm just taking. Hold on. I'm just looking at the chart one more time. Just.
Yep.
Okay.
You kind of have to. Yeah.
A plus, and then there's no on. That's why, right? Because there's no on.
There's no on, and because you're dealing with the present indicative and the apodosis.
If there was an on here, it'd be future.
Yeah, this is the only construction that has the present indicative in the apodosis.
Okay.
It's just that because
that makes sense.
Yeah, and because the apodosis comes first, it's a little tricky, but it's straightforward.
So if I don't guard, right? So far.
Yeah, if I don't guard, if I hadn't guarded, like it's like a bit, it's subjunctive, remember? So you have to like attenuate it a little bit.
If I had not,
yeah, if I had not guarded the brothers,
they will destroy.
Well, we're still in the realm of the subjunctive, so we're using the word would.
They would destroy. That's right.
Yeah. Or it's really it's like they would. It's
the democracy.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. It works, right? If I had not guarded the brothers, they would destroy the democracy.
Yeah. Or
They would have. Or no, it's not in the future though.
Sorry. This is present general is whenever. So when I don't guard the brothers, they dissolve democracy because it's like it's the present indicative.
Yeah, that makes sense. When I don't.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. You're right. I like that. When I don't guard the brothers, they would destroy. They would, right? That's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10.
All right. Read it first.
Yeah. Etus adolphus me effulaxa elusan anten demokratian.
Mm-hmm.
Demokratian. So,
boom.
We have A plus on, and we have sigmas.
Yeah, so we got sigmas on both sides.
A plus on plus sigmas is automatically counterfactual. Past counterfactual.
Past counterfactual. Bingo.
Past counterfactual, which means it's going to be, okay, let me start with the, if I, and once we have may again, so if I have not guarded.
Or like, if I had not guarded.
If I had not.
Yeah.
Guarded. If I had not guarded the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They would destroy the democracy.
Well, we got these aorists on either side, so we are in the past counterfactual.
They would have.
Yeah, they would have in the past. So like they would destroy is more like could be future, but here we got to anchor it in the past. They would have.
I was just thinking about with all these like very technical differences. I wonder how many Loeb translations out there where the guy just kind of
fudged it.
Yeah, like you wouldn't notice it. How would you notice, really? I mean, I guess we would right now because we're honing in on these things. But if you're just reading the text, you probably wouldn't even notice it.
I think if you're
Nice.
well trained, you're going to do.
Whoever crossbible is, he needs
Luke
a
Raniere
master
might
class.
notice it.
Whoever cross Bible is, he needs a master class.
You should do a class.
No, I do a class every Saturday. So anybody who wants to jump in, just give me a go to crossbible.com and then hit me up through the contact form. You can hit the contact button and reach out.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you, Science, for the super chat. Appreciate you. And once again, thank you for the 20 at Neo. Appreciate you. And Jules, thank you.
And this is, I actually, just to clarify, like, we're studying classical Greek, but this is very useful for like any kind of Greek. Like, you can start here and then work your way towards the Bible. You can kind of,
it just gets simpler. You knock off. You're putting on a bunch of clothing right now. You can take. It's easier to take clothing off, right? Than it is.
You can basically pivot from here either back to Homer or forward to the Bible, or like Hellenistic. You can go forward to the Hellenistic period or back to the Bible.
That's what that big ortho bro said too. He told Jay. I think he told like Jay and some other guy. Remember he was telling him, he's like, don't even fucking learn biblical Greek. Go right to fucking classical.
That is what he said.
Yeah.
He also said some other things that weren't true, but that I agreed with.
Yeah, that's the one thing I agree with too. Because you're learning more shit. You're just getting more knowledge of things, and then you can take it off if you have to.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. If you're looking at the conditional syntax chart, it's just all. If you end up, if this is your foundation, you're learning all of these. For biblical Greek, you just have to sort of take two of them off, and that's it.
That's it.
So it's like this is more complicated, and then for biblical Greek, it just becomes a lot easier. Like if you get used to reading classical Greek and then you skip to the Bible's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because it's like, oh, okay, like I'm not, your brain doesn't have to do as much work.
That's so funny. We got 11?
Because the language is just more simplistic. We're on 11, yeah.
We're actually getting more farther than I thought in this time period, because we're almost done with 4.
Yeah, we are.
I think we'll finish 4 next time. Maybe we could try to get to the end of this page, or maybe not. Let's see.
So here we have some weirdness.
All right, let me try reading it first. Tous adolphus me fulatoimi,
yeah.
fulatoimi, luoien antain domocratian.
Yeah, so I'm doing this little like suffix here in green that, I mean, this is the ending technically, but I'm differentiating between the endings that you're used to and then these are these clues right here.
I'm trying to see what you're saying here. Okay, so A plus on, we have A plus on, and then I don't know. You're okay. So you have green and red, green and blue. A plus on, and then you have. Hold on, I'll get this. A plus on, and there's no sigmas, so it's down to 2. It is potential or future less vivid.
Future less vivid. Yep.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Future less vivid.
Future less vivid would be if should were to. If should were to, right?
Yeah. If should then would.
If should then would. Okay.
Yeah.
So if, and then it's I because it's in this nominative singular.
Mm-hmm.
If I should, if I should not.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Because you got may, right?
Guard my brothers, right? Or the brothers.
Yeah. If I should not guard the brothers.
Yep. Guard the brothers. And then they would destroy.
Yeah.
They would destroy.
They would dissolve the democracy or destroy the democracy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like a part of me feels bad for having that chart to look at, but a part of me says, what else am I going to do? I'm not going to sit here asking you the answer every time, right?
I think it's good to have a visual aid like training wheels that you just take off eventually.
Exactly. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Keep. If I need to look at the chart, I look at it. And then eventually I'm trying not to look at it. Like I'll just try to memorize it.
It's pattern recognition.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm already memorizing the sigmas and I'm already starting to see certain things. So it's starting to come. I'm already starting to get it. You know what I mean?
And so here we have similar elements, but we have similar elements on the protosis is identical, but now we have something else going on in the apodosis.
Oh, you're talking about 12 now. Okay.
Moving on.
E tus adelphus me fulatom toimi eluan ten demokratian. All right. So we have a.
Yeah. So it's not eluon.
Is that what I said?
Or sorry, I would say eluon. I say elion, but yeah.
Did I say eluan?
Yeah. Just I was just.
Wow. So that was
word emphasis there. Just be careful.
That sounded like Raspian though, right?
Yeah, an Erasmian pronunciation, everything goes out the window, and you just. But
I heard, you know who does that is Esoterica. He says lagos.
Lagos. Yeah, they would say eluon.
Yeah.
And
you would have heard that right, but no.
But I think you typically have been striving for eluon, where the omicron.
No excuse for me. I'm wrong. Yeah.
And then I say elion. That's what I say.
Elion.
But just so everybody knows, I'm faking an Erasmian pronunciation for my lessons with Neil because otherwise he's not going to understand me.
So okay, so we have a. We don't have it on, so that means. What is now? I'm gonna look at the verb. Is it the optative?
It is the optative.
Yeah.
This oi, the oi is the the oi me is an optative.
It's past general, right?
Yep.
It's got to be. It's only
Yep.
one. I was gonna say, what do you mean, dude? I was gonna.
Yeah, it's past general.
Only one left.
No on. Yeah.
All right. Past general means.
So you
hold on. Before I even try to do this, let me just say, I'm going to start doing this more often. Past general means whenever, used to.
Exactly.
Whenever, used to. So let's put that into practice now. Whenever. So I start with if I wait, where does whenever get plugged in?
At the beginning. Well, okay, so you can either do if ever or whenever.
Okay, let's do if ever then. I like doing if because a means if to me.
Yeah, that's like if ever is a more literal translation. It's like wooden versus whenever is a bit more colloquial, a bit more natural.
Also, if I ever.
Yeah, if I ever
don't guard brothers.
Yeah. If I ever don't guard the brothers.
If I ever don't guard the brothers,
or whenever I didn't guard the brothers.
I
mean, the thing is, because it's past general, it's like almost like whenever I didn't guard the brothers, or if I ever didn't guard the brothers.
If I ever didn't guard the brothers.
Yeah, because you're talking about this is past general condition, so that's why.
Yeah. If I ever didn't guard the brothers. They used to destroy the democracy. Yeah,
they used to destroy the democracy whenever I didn't guard them. That's why it's like whenever it tends to be a more natural. If I ever is you're doing a wooden.
There's got to be a better way to translate this though.
Yeah, whenever I didn't guard the brothers, they used to destroy democracy.
That's why you say whenever. Okay.
Yeah, because whenever just works a little bit more naturally in English.
I guess if I was to translate it, I would start off with this and then I would clean it up.
Yeah.
My brain always wants to translate this to if, always. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right. So that we finished that whole section.
Yep. And now we're just at another bit more advanced.
A little more advanced now. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So with these ones, it's the same thing. We're still just doing the same thing.
Yeah, right. You just have a few more words in the protosis and the apodosis that you have to deal with.
But they were giving me the same fulaxo and democrition every time, and now they're throwing me out into the fucking wilderness. Now this is gonna take me some time to do these. Because I already these were all the same exact sentences, but just a few little differences. It's easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, we can just grapse. You can just sort of spit out these words and then organize them later.
I like doing that.
Yeah.
We know we have if,
Oh, sorry. Get it on this line here.
Oh, sorry. We know we have if because aeon's on there.
Yep.
If, and then we have high musai, which would be
Hi, Musai.
feminine plural, not nominative for
Mhm.
mooses. The muses,
The muses. Yeah.
muses,
Not muses.
I don't know why I'm saying
Muses.
That's what I meant. The
Yeah.
muses.
Muse. Yeah.
If the muses, and then tone agathon, the good.
Mhm.
If
Yep.
I'm just doing
Yeah. No, just do word for word right now. Well, we can. Yeah.
Wayatane would be also accusative poet.
Yep.
Poet. And then ao is good or well, right?
Yeah.
And then diado, so that's they will teach.
Yeah.
They will teach. Grapse is they will write.
Yeah. And this is actually there's a typo in the protasis. Can you see
You notice how I can see? I can already tell just by looking at the ending what they will or.
Yeah.
Oh no, but this I got this one wrong. This is he teaches. He teaches.
He she or teaches. But there's a typo in the protasis. Can you spot it? It's just a issue with the diacritics.
Agora.
No, this L needs a circumflex accent like that. Yeah.
Never would have guessed that, dude. You serious? You're all about the accents and shit. I'm never paying attention. Okay. He teaches, or no, I'm sorry. He writes. He writes. Colon is bad.
Well, if we're just going word for word, you're gonna want this is so this is originally grafe, but what turned grafe into grapse?
He will write.
Yeah, it's a fuss. So yeah,
good catch. He will write. Is a sigma. Sigma. He will write beautiful books. Or biblion would be books, plural, or book. Right, book.
Well, it's book. It's a singular book.
Yeah, book. Peri means around. Or on. Tone, and then we have tone thusion, which means of.
Yeah, well, it's thusion.
Sacrifices.
Yeah, of sacrifices.
And then we have the agar in the market.
Yep, in the market or the marketplace.
So now we have to just kind of.
So one thing you want to double check here is like you said, you have he will write beautiful book on of sacrifices in the market. Peri, what does peri mean in this context?
On.
No.
Around?
Well, if he's gonna write a good book, what comes after? A good book on?
Yeah.
You could say on. I mean, it's about.
That's what it means, yeah.
Okay, it's about. But yeah, you could say a book on.
Hold on a second though. You know all of Aristotle's titles on
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Peri.
You can write a book on something, or you can write a book about something.
That's how I know that.
Yeah.
I'm so used to those titles.
Yeah.
So, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're trying to say there.
Yeah, colloquially it would be about, but you're totally right. It could be on.
Yeah. So.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, so let's start with if the poet. Oh wait. Let's start with the verb. So, if, and then who's the subject? If the muses teach, if the muses will teach.
Yeah, you want to move it into a better position for English syntax.
Will teach.
Mm-hmm. And so just so everybody sees what he did, he just Neil just did a really quick literal translation, and now he's cleaning it up. And if
the muses will teach the poet well.
If the muses teach the good poet well.
Oh well, I already had that in there.
Yeah.
He will write a beautiful book on the sacrifice. It's almost already there.
Yeah.
He will write
a
beautiful book on sacrifices in the market.
Well, you have on of, so that's just a little awkward.
Yeah. Book of sacrifices. He will write a beautiful book
on. We just discussed that. So a book on
sacrifice.
And then it's peri ton thusion or ton thusion.
That's genitive.
Yeah, but remember, there's ton here. Ton fusion.
Oh, sacrifices is plural.
It's plural, but where is tone in your translation?
That's why I had of.
Well, of is not tone.
It's
Tone,
genitive.
yes.
So tone would be of.
Tone is the definite article, so it is arthrous. It has it's not just general sacrifices. There are definitized sacrifices.
What do you mean?
They are definite.
A book on definite sacrifices?
Yes, they're definite sacrifices. So how do you express definiteness in Greek?
On
specific sacrifices, the sacrifices.
You're saying on the sacrifices?
Yeah, because tone means of the. It doesn't mean of. It means of the.
Yeah, but that's why I put of. Oh, you're right. Okay.
We'll put it this way. If it was grapse kalon biblion peri en agorathicion, then it would be a book on sacrifices in the market. But this is referring to the sacrifices that are performed in the market.
Okay.
So that's why you just translate the tone as of the.
Okay, I got you.
Or I'm sorry, not of the. In this case, it's about the sacrifices in the market.
Book about the sacrifices.
Yep.
Okay, that was good.
Yep.
I mean, I kind of like doing it that way, but I also like starting off with just give me the verb and then.
Yeah, and really, it's like you can say this is like, okay, I've identified this as the future more vivid, but you don't necessarily need to be like hyper.
That's what I was wondering. If you
cognizant of that.
I was wondering that a few minutes ago. If you always have to start with that.
No, that's the difference between the grammar translate method, which is generally what they want you to do in this book, versus the natural language method, NLM, which just says just wing it, right?
Yeah, I like that. I actually maybe I do like that what you
yeah, you just want to build an intuition. You can learn the rules, but you have to internalize them and kind of throw them away and let that be your intuition.
I already know what this is. On one hand, because that's got men.
Yeah.
On one hand,
or on the one hand, right?
Yeah, on the one hand, I guess you could put that there. On the one hand, battle. Make means battle, right?
Yep.
Stratiotis. Stratiotis. Battle strategy?
No, it's not strategy. What is strateotes? What is that word? Strateotes.
Why do I feel like I should know this?
Well, let me give you the singular. The singular is stratiotis or stratiotes, which is.
It's not strategy?
No. Well, I mean, our word strategy comes from Greek, right? So our word strategy comes from stratos, which means what?
What is it? I don't know.
A stratos is an army, and a stratiotes is
armies.
No, it's a different word, right?
What is it?
Well, it's the iotis that participates in the army.
Soldiers.
Yeah, it's a soldier. This is a singular soldier,
okay.
But here you have a plural soldiers.
Okay, soldiers.
I'll keep those on the screen just for people to reference.
On the one hand, battle soldiers. Bad? Kake bad? Does that mean bad?
It does mean bad.
We'll just leave that there for now. We'll figure it out. And then agathe means good.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, good.
On the other hand.
Yeah, the de is giving you on the other hand. Yeah, in contrast with the men.
Good victory.
Yeah, so now you just translated it really into really wooden, like barbaric English, and now you got to elevate it.
On the one hand, soldiers.
In what case are the soldiers in?
Are they are in the stratiace would be a dative.
Dative.
So on the one hand, to the soldiers, right?
Not quite. Yeah, it's for them. It's their condition, right? It's a How was the battle for the soldiers? Was it a good battle for the soldiers, or was it a bad battle?
Battle
for the
is
soldiers?
bad for soldiers.
Yeah, that was not a good battle for the soldiers.
So wait, on the one hand, battle is bad for soldiers.
Yeah, so like, yeah,
There's no though.
it is hey
Okay,
mahe.
I see that. Okay, they just threw it.
Yeah,
Threw me off. On the one hand, the battle is bad for soldiers. On the other hand, victory is good for soldiers. Victory is good for them.
but in this case, it's hey Niki, right? Hey Nike,
The victory.
the victory, right? So there was the battle was bad for the soldiers, but the victory was good for the soldiers.
Yeah.
And the way you're translating Mende is super literal on the one hand. On the other hand, you could also say, just to kind of give you some variety, you could say, while the battle was bad for the soldiers, the victory was good for them. That would give you a more concise English translation with the word while, as opposed to on the one hand, the battle was bad for the soldiers. On the other hand, in contrast, the victory is good for them.
Day clause, though. I always like. I don't know why. It's like poetic.
You like, yeah, but this is still a Mende clause. It's just depends on how you're doing it. We don't have the option of a Mende clause in English, so we have to just render it somehow. And this is a perfectly acceptable way to do it. It's just super literal. You're basically broadcasting, hey, this is a Mende clause, which is fine. I'm not knocking you for it.
Could you like what is it? What's the word? Mess around with this in an English translation and say like, on one hand, but also, if you want.
But also is a little. I would do this. I would say while the battle is bad for this for soldiers. Sorry, for soldiers. The victory is good, for them, and it implies for them. So I would let the word while do all the heavy lifting in translating the Mende clause there.
I see what you're saying.
It just flows better in English. It gets the point across. But if you want to do on the one hand, that's just literal.
Yeah. You want to finish off this page and then.
I'm down for whatever. Yeah, I still have.
Finish off the page.
Yeah.
All right. So we have evocative off the bat. So
pile.
Oh friend.
Yeah. File.
Oh friend. Oh friend soldier.
Yeah. So that's the same word, but what case is that?
It's in the is that the nominative?
No. We did the nominative a little earlier.
But I was gonna say, is that neuter? Is that a neuter?
No.
Oh, it's accusative.
No.
Wait, stratia.
So we already had stratiotis or stratiotes.
Stratiota.
So this is ho stratiotes, and then now we have this o.
Oh, so this is still vocative.
Yeah. Ostrati.
That's why I was thrown off.
Ostratiota with a circumflex accent because the alpha is
That's
short.
really how the vocative looks for that word?
Yes. This is a first declension masculine vocative. Stratiota.
Really? There's no
Yes.
E at the end? That's weird.
No, it's the alpha. The short alpha is giving you this vocative when you're calling out to the soldier and saying, "Yo, soldier, yo, friend, soldier."
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, friend soldier. If the market.
Oh, sorry.
The country. Right.
Yeah. If the country.
Meta is like after.
Yeah, and you see what's going on here.
After of justice. What?
This you see how this is written. I'm just gonna complain for a second. You see this?
What?
Yeah. You see what's wrong there?
It's got two accents.
Yeah. You know why that is?
Oh, why the fuck would I know?
It's because the textbook does that.
Oh, it's got the long.
And so the way I got this text into the Google Doc was I just scanned. I used my phone and I scanned the page and I used Google Translate to like process the text to put.
But it's not.
And so the Google Translate thought that was a circumflex, but it's not. But we know that it's a long alpha. How do we know that it's a long alpha? Even without the macron? I know you don't like these questions, but I'm just going to quiz you.
I don't know.
It's because we have an acute accent over the omega. So if this word were written like this, horan, that would mean that the alpha is short. But we know the alpha can't be short because the omega has an acute accent on it.
Oh, I see.
Last time you were saying, well, doesn't that beg the question? But it's like if in a hypothetical world, if you ever saw that, you would say, oh, that alpha is long, but it's not. It's short. So I'm sorry. You would say that the alpha is short, but because we have an acute accent, the alpha has to be long.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Of justices, because that's plural genitive, right?
Well, justice is DK.
Of just men.
Yeah,
because
it's an adjective. Yeah.
Of just men, effulates guarded.
Effulates, right?
I guard, or I would guard.
Well, what is the sigma doing here?
It is genitive.
It's not genitive. No. The sigma.
Sorry. What is it doing?
What person is it?
Oh, it is.
Go through the paradigm of fulato. Ego fulato, su.
Oh, it's second person.
Fulates, right?
Second person. So you guard.
You guard, but yeah.
Guard. Yeah, you guarded.
Mm-hmm.
Hoi nia nia. Wait, what is it? Why they're throwing around the? Oh no, hoi nia nia. The men.
Well, it's not neania. For me, it's neanie. For you, it's neaniai, right? Neaniai.
Neanii, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So the men, hoi, and then you have another hoi. Apo away from the island. Away of the island.
Apotes nisu or nesu is from the island, right? Right.
From the island.
You could say away from the island.
Away from the island. Out from from.
What is ook?
Out of or from?
No. Apo is from. Ook is something completely different.
Not.
Not, right.
Not freed. Eluon would be it would be they, or no, I'm sorry, it would be I freed.
Well, the eluon could be I was loosening or dissolving or freeing, or it could be they were loosening or dissolving or freeing.
We're talking about the men here, so it's they.
Yeah, this is going to be releasing, right?
Yeah. Releasing. And then tain erenin. So wait, what is that again? Erenin? What is that again? Why am I blanking out on that one?
Irene is peace. Irini.
Peace, yeah, okay.
Yeah, tinirinin.
Okay, so this would be oh soldier.
Yeah, oh friend soldier, right? Friendly soldier, you could say.
Guarded. We're gonna move this over here.
Yeah, if you were guarding.
If you were guarding, right?
Yeah, if you were guarding.
If you were guarding the country of just men. Or
Yeah,
after.
Yeah, it could be the land. Yeah, the land with the just men. Metaton. So meta plus genitive. Metaton.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dikeon,
It was
right?
with, yeah. If you were
Yeah, so this is with here with meta.
You're guarding the country with just men.
Yep.
And then or righteous men, right?
Yeah, or righteous people. You know, anthropoi could be people.
Yeah, exactly. With the just, right? Right.
No, well, I mean, yeah, here you do have specifically explicitly people.
Yeah. So then you have the men from the island. We got to move this way out of here.
Yeah, and these are young men. They're neanii.
Yeah, they're young men. You're right. The young men.
Yeah, because remember, we're in classical Greek, so we don't have neaniskoi. We don't have neaniskoi here. Yeah.
So the young men from the island were not releasing.
Yeah, and here, like, what kind of syntax are we in?
What do you mean? What kind of syntax?
Well, what construction is this based on the chart? If you looked at the chart, what would we be working with?
Present contrary.
Yeah, present counterfactual, because in reality, it's like if you were guarding the country with just men, but you're guarding the country with like unjust men,
right?
In reality. So here in that situation, you would be saying if were would.
Yes, if you were guarding the country with just men, they would.
Yeah, if you were.
Would, so I put they would not really be releasing.
Yeah, they would not be breaking the peace or you know, it's really you like to use the word destroy, right? So you could say destroying the peace.
Yeah.
Violating the peace.
They would not be destroying the peace.
Yeah. And who wouldn't be destroying it? The young men from the island.
So I should put this back in here then.
Yeah, but you would sort of front it because we're in English syntax, so you got to start with the subject and then the predicate.
So I should put they as the.
So they you put they as like that's a pronoun, but we don't need a pronoun because we have a noun. We have the young men.
So I'll just put the.
Yeah. Yep.
The young men from the island would not be destroying the peace.
Yep.
Boom. Done.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. That's the end of the page.
Yep. Well, it's the end of the page on the Google Doc, but now we got 4.
Oh, I thought you said we're going to finish on this page.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, sorry. You can do that. So we're almost done. We got 4 through. We got all the way down to 28, and then we're going to go from English into Greek, and then there's some reading, and then we're done. That's it. That's the end of Unit 4. So Unit 4 is pretty gnarly.
Yeah, we'll be done with 4 by next time for sure.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Then 5, we'll crack open 5 right after that. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I hope anyone watching this gets something out of this, man, because like
I've been seeing some good comments, and you know, like
a good amount of people watching for Greek. You know,
yeah,
250, 225 on YouTube, and 120 on or 180 on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm going to create a playlist on my channel. You should create a playlist on yours too. And anybody that wants to go through Hansen and Quinn can just tag along with us. And if anybody is interested in learning Greek with me, but they think that this material, if they agree that this material is a little dense, I got plenty of other good stuff. I got Athenaze. I teach modern Greek too, is like a really easy approach into it. It's like I sort of mold my teaching to my students. So, you know, we could just do a free call and I'll do a consultation on like what the best approach to Greek might be for you as an individual.
Yeah, look at this person wrote my name the way it's supposed to be in Greek because that's the Nile. It's literally the word Nile.
Yeah,
I feel like if I was to translate my name into Greek, it would be Nilos.
Nilos. And you know, it's interesting because the epsilon iota in reality it had like 2 pronunciations. Like like archaic Greek it would have been a, but by the classical period it was already pronounced like e. In a lot of positions, like before, in between consonants, it would have sounded like Nilos. Yeah. But then in other positions, like before a vowel, it would have sounded like e. But nowadays in modern Greek, it's just that would be Nilos or Vasilevs, right? That's
yeah. Because I don't know if you saw it when you were in Greece with me, but when I was in Arcadia, they were like Nilos, the Nile.
Yeah, Nilos.
That's how they heard my name. You know what I mean?
You're Nilos, and I'm Stephanos.
Because Nile was a Greek god in a lot of texts. Like Diodorus talks about Nile River being a god. So, you know, the Greeks thought of it. The Greeks had all the Egyptian gods in their pantheon and stuff. You know. So
Great. So maybe next time, I think you'll blow through the rest of Unit 4 so quickly. We'll probably maybe start in Unit 5. We'll see how it goes.
yeah,
And then I'm going to probably do a separate video on my channel just going through Units 1 through 3 since you did those by yourself. And for anybody that wants to catch up on my playlist, I'll produce something for Units 1 and 1 through 3.
Yeah. Then you're gonna be a master at Hansen and Quinn pretty soon by doing all these.
Yeah, it's good review. I mean, I don't mind it. It's like I would not have wanted to do this as my first textbook. My first textbook was Shelmerdine's Introduction to Classical Greek, and I just thought that was it's so much easier than Hansen and Quinn. Hansen and Quinn was like the third textbook I did.
I recommend people supplement this with Athena's like we're doing.
Yeah. And Thrasimachos.
And Thrasimachos, that's what I do on my
Thrasimachos. Yeah.
So yeah, if you had those three and you try to do all three of them, I think it's the best way to learn Greek. But I do think even if you want to just do two, you should do Athena's. Just read the poor Decapolis, poor guy. Read about him. You'll like it because it's like you feel like you're getting kindergarten again.
Yeah.
Like Decapolis went to the country. Decapolis was sad. Decapolis lived in a house, and like you're just like reading like it just. I like how they do it. I like how they throw it at you really tiny, and then just gets a little bit more on top of it.
You can tell that the people in the chat who like last this long, it's like the hardcore people, like the really dedicated ones.
Oh hell yeah!
And we don't get trolls on these streams either. Like people that are like, he only knows modern Greek, meh.
Someone said, "Hey, everyone, check out our site. We use fleets of AIs to translate a decent amount of ancient literature, or 500." Damn. All right. Well, there you go.
Gear you need website.
Gear you need. OpenScriptorium.com. He said.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Oh, gear you need. Open Scriptorium.
Nilos. By the way, we saw that on a dumpster in Greece.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It was literally epsilon iota LOS, like it's in Greece.
Yeah, and you see here it has the circumflex accent in the super chat.
And I'm not talking about graffiti. There was the garbage company that owned the dumpster. It was literally like, I'm like, yeah, that's my name. I own a garbage company here. Yeah. So someone said I like Latin. I like Latin too. By the way, I've had this book for a while now, and I want to crack it open one day. Where is it? Greek or Latin? Maybe it's over a different room.
Well, you know what people recommend is like for Latin they recommend Familia Romana, and for Greek they well-informed people, well-informed classicists will recommend Familia Romana for learning Latin because it's a graded reader, and Athenaze for a graded reader in ancient Greek because they both, basically Athenaze is mimicking the methodology and approach that they use in Familia Romana by starting you out with really, really simple text that has comprehensible input in it. So you're reading it because what the problem with this textbook is it throws you into the deep end of the pool very, very early and just expects you to learn how to decode and do what you've seen it. It's tedious. But if we do one of these where we go back to chapter 1 of Athena's, you can see it starts you out really, really easy in the shallow end of the pool and just lets you gradually get into it because you really want to, the idea behind comprehensible input is that when you're reading, you want to already know off the bat 70% of the words on the page. And if you're a beginner, that means you want to start with really simple texts. And because I raised my kid speaking Greek, and that helped me because I was reading bedtime stories to him, and it's all simple text.
Dead dogs or dogs of the underworld in Greek.
How would you say dead dogs or dogs of the underworld in Greek? So dead would be nekroi, right? And then kuones would be, in ancient Greek, the ancient Greek word for there are different words for dog in ancient Greek, but kuon is the ancient word for dog, and kunes is the plural of that. So I think you would probably say something like nekroikunes. But there are different ways to say dead too. I mean, that's like the blunt version of it, like dead dogs. You still looking for your Latin book?
I got a whole Latin book that I haven't really been using at all, and I don't know where I put it. It must be in a different room somewhere. But I just wanted to show people what I had. But I haven't really been using it, so it's not like I know anything about it. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'll have it for next time. I'll show people.
Yeah, I typed it into the chat. That's just dead dogs. Or if it's like the dead dogs, it would be like hoi nekroi kunes, the dead dogs.
Kunes. Yeah, that's interesting. How would you say that? Oh, it's Scobie. How would you say dead dogs or dogs of the underworld? Dogs of the underworld would be totally different than dead dogs, though, because it'd be of Hades. It'd be, you know what I mean? You'd say, wouldn't you say kuon? No, that'd be.
Well, he still wants dogs, so you would still say kunes.
Yeah.
But if you wanted it to be Aides is
Tu haidu?
well, that's the underworld. That's
Hades would be tu haidu.
But I think you would say like Tartaru. You would say Tartarus, right? So you could say kunes tu haidu.
Why not Hades though?
Well, yeah. So this would be Hades because they have different kinds of underworld, right? So that would be the dogs of Hades.
Tartarus is a place in Hades. It's the pit. It's like the worst part of Hades.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Sorry, I capitalized the alpha there. It should probably be a lowercase alpha, right? So like there.
It would be tu haidu though.
Tu haidu, yeah.
Haidu, yeah.
Kunes tu haidu.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Dogs of the underworld. You could say nekroi kunes tu haidu. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. So the form that Neil has in the chat has the iota subscript. There's another way to write it with just the on the line iota. There's different There are lots of variant spellings of Hades.
Yep. Tu haidu. I like that. Yeah.
All right. Well.
Anyways,
hope that was helpful to everyone.
It was definitely. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Stephen. And you have attained Greek gnosis.
You have just attained true gnosis. The demiurge has no power over